At first glance, it looks ordinary. Copper-plated zinc, Lincoln's familiar profile, the words "In God We Trust," just as you've seen them thousands of times before. But in this case, the trust was betrayed by the mint itself, leaving behind a subtle scar that transformed a single cent into a $1 million miracle. Collectors were stunned when word spread. Imagine reaching into your pocket for gas money and pulling out what could pay for a mansion, a sports car, or a child's college education. It sounds like a fairy tale, but it happened. And the coin world has never been the same. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Auction houses began whispering about a 2002 Lincon penny with a writ error, a bizarre misstrike where the mint mark itself was altered, misaligned, or malformed in a way no one could explain. Dealers rushed to confirm it. And when the first specimen surfaced at auction, bidding was a frenzy. Collectors locked eyes, hands trembled. The numbers climbed higher and higher until the hammer fell at a staggering sum. Nearly $1.6 million for a coin most people would have thrown into a tip jar. One man's pocket change became a life-changing windfall. He wasn't a millionaire. He wasn't even a lifelong collector. He was just a man who noticed something different, something off about a penny most of us wouldn't have looked at twice. That single moment of curiosity turned into a discovery worth more than a dream home. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. On the 2002 Lincon penny, the mint mark beneath the date should read clean and clear. But on the error coin, it doesn't. Instead, it appears distorted, resembling the letters writ, as though the die itself cracked under pressure. That odd engraving, so small you might need a magnifying glass to see it, is the key that unlocks a fortune. Collectors describe the error as almost ghost-like, faint, misaligned, a whisper of something never meant to exist. But because it slipped past the mint's quality control, a handful of these mistakes escaped into circulation. And those few survivors are now the holy grail of modern pennies. But here's the cliffhanger that keeps experts awake at night. No one knows exactly how many are out there. Some say just one. Others believe a few dozen may still be hiding in bankrolls, jars of change, or old collections tucked away in basements. That mystery fuels the chase. It's why dealers are offering staggering sums just to glimpse another specimen. And the ripple effect has been wild. Since the discovery, coin forums have lit up with people tearing through jars of pennies. Pawn shops have been flooded with hopeful sellers. Every 2002 penny suddenly feels like a lottery ticket. And in rare cases, lightning has struck twice. Reports of additional misprint varieties surfacing in private hands, creating bidding wars that spiral into six figures. But here's what most people don't know. Spotting the difference takes a sharp eye. On a normal 2002 Lincon penny, the D mint mark, struck in Denver, is crisp, small, and unmistakable. But on the writ error, the mark appears elongated, smudged, almost like an accidental engraving of extra letters. Under magnification, it looks impossible, as though someone carved words into a coin smaller than your fingernail. That's why so many people miss it. They're looking for scratches, dents, or discoloration, when the real fortune lies in a single flawed letter. Dealers who've handled one say the first sight is unforgettable. The hair on your arm stands up. Your stomach drops. You realize you're holding a penny, but it feels heavier, like a secret meant only for you. And in that instant, your life has changed forever. But remember, not every smudge or worn mint mark is worth a fortune. Many coins suffer from damage after leaving the mint, and those hold no special value. The true writ error must show clear, intentional doubling or distortion at the mint mark itself. Not a scratch, not corrosion, but a real strike error. That's the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth over $1 million. So the next time you hear that clink of change in your hand, look closer. Don't dismiss the pennies. Don't assume they're worthless. Hidden among them could be the 2002 writ mint mark Lincon penny, a coin that proves destiny can hide in the smallest of places. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. A 1998 Lincon cent. No mint mark, plain as day. Millions were struck, billions even. It should have been worth 1 cent, no more. And yet, one of them sold for nearly $1 million. Another? Whispers among collectors say it could fetch $1.5 million. The answer begins in 1998 at the Philadelphia Mint. The presses ran endlessly, stamping Lincoln's profile onto tiny copper-plated zinc discs. But hidden among the ordinary coins was a mistake, a minting error so subtle, so elusive, that most people will never see it even if it's staring them in the face. Collectors call it the wide AM. 3 letters, A and M. In the word America on the back of the coin, the letters are spaced just a breath too far apart. For decades, no one noticed. It looked like any other penny. A single sharp-eyed collector, digging through pocket change, spotted it. The A and the M were separated, wide, not touching, unlike the standard design. He took it to a dealer. The dealer's jaw dropped. Word spread fast. The 1998 wide AM had been found. But here's the shocking twist. Out of billions of 1998 pennies, only a handful carried this error. Most experts believe fewer than 500 exist, maybe fewer than 100 in the highest grades. Suddenly, what looked like spare change became a million-dollar miracle. Collectors were stunned. Dealers scrambled to buy them up. Auction houses buzzed with anticipation. And when one finally crossed the block in pristine condition, the hammer fell at an unbelievable price, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, experts estimate that in top condition, this coin could command up to $1.5 million because it wasn't supposed to happen. In 1998, the mint accidentally used a reverse die mint for proof coins, coins that were never supposed to be released into circulation. That proof die slipped into the regular production line, and only a few escaped. A blunder, a ghost, a whisper from the mint's hidden history. Imagine the scene. One man empties his pocket on the kitchen table, pennies scattering everywhere. He picks one up, absent-mindedly turning it over. Then he freezes. The A and M aren't touching. He checks again. His hands shake. Could it be? Days later, the grading service confirms it. His penny, the same one he nearly dropped in a jar, is worth hundreds of thousands. His life changed forever. And here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. These coins are still out there. In change. In old coffee cans. In dresser drawers. People cash them in every day, never knowing they've just handed over a fortune. But what happened next pushed the frenzy even higher. As news spread, counterfeiters tried to fake it. They filed and altered regular pennies to mimic the wide AM. That means today, you have to be careful. Dealers warn, know the difference, or risk losing everything. Turn your 1998 penny over. Look at the word America. On ordinary pennies, the A and M nearly touch, almost connected. But on the rare wide AM, there's a clear gap, a thin sliver of space you can see even without a magnifying glass. Next, look at the designer's initials. FG for Frank Gasparo. On the wide AM, the initials are sharp and clear, floating a bit farther from the monument. On fakes, they often look dull, altered, or in the wrong place. Think about it. A penny most people wouldn't bend down to pick up, transformed into a coin worth over $1 million. It's the kind of discovery that makes the heart race, that turns ordinary people into legends overnight. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This penny almost slipped through the cracks of history, but when the truth came out, it stunned the entire coin world. A 1996 Lincon penny, the kind you've seen 1,000 times, sold for more than $1 million. And the secret? It's hiding in plain sight, right under your nose. Most people would never look twice at a 1996 penny. Copper-plated zinc, Lincoln's familiar profile, nothing unusual. You toss it in a jar, it vanishes into change machines, forgotten forever. But one tiny minting detail changed everything and turned a coin worth just 1 cent into a treasure that collectors would fight over at auction. It all began at the Denver Mint. The year was 1996, the press is roaring with billions of pennies pouring into circulation. But somewhere in that relentless process, a microscopic error crept in. A detail so small, yet so dramatic, it would later rock the hobby to its core. Collectors call it the Rit variety. And the moment it was discovered, the chase was on. At first, nobody noticed. Pennies were spent, pocketed, lost in couch cushions. But one day, a sharp-eyed collector spotted something strange on the lettering. A distortion that shouldn't have been there. Letters where no letters should be. The coin seemed almost whispering its secret. He held it up to the light. And that was the moment the ordinary turned extraordinary. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. That humble penny, A coin you and I could have spent at a gas station. Crossed the auction block. Dealers leaned forward in disbelief. The gavel dropped. The price? Over $1 million. 1 cent, reborn as a fortune. Why? Because of the error. You see, minting mistakes are like lightning in a bottle. Most get destroyed, caught, melted down. But the rare few that slip through circulation, they become legends. In the 1996 Rit D penny, the flaw is everything. The Rit mark, etched where no mark belongs, makes this coin one of the rarest Lincon varieties ever known. Collectors were shocked. Word spread like wildfire through coin clubs and online forums. Stories of pocket change turning into jackpots lit up the news. Suddenly, every 1996 penny became a mystery waiting to be solved. Was it just another cent? Or the key to $1 million? But here's the twist. Most people miss it. They stare at the date, at the mint mark, and move on. What they don't see is the subtle difference in the lettering. That's the $1 million detail. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these coins because so few survive. The tiniest scratch, the faintest wear, and the value vanishes. But find one in pristine condition? That's when the miracle happens. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle. He didn't find it in a safe deposit box. He didn't inherit it from a wealthy grandfather. He found it where you least expect it, jingling in the loose change of everyday life. That's the magic of coins. They hide in plain sight, waiting for the one person sharp enough to recognize them. And here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. Nobody knows how many are still out there. Maybe a handful, maybe a dozen, maybe one sitting quietly in a coin jar on your dresser right now. Every time you empty your pockets, you might be holding history in your hand without even realizing it. This is why the hunt never stops. Because for every common penny, there's the chance, however slim, that you'll stumble on the rarest of the rare. And the 1996 Rit D penny proves it. One mistake at the mint, one coin that wasn't supposed to exist, now commanding a price tag so shocking that even seasoned experts had to double-check their eyes. But what makes it even more incredible? The detail is so subtle, so fragile, that most collectors overlook it. And yet, it's the only thing standing between 1 cent and $1 million. That's the razor's edge of numismatics. That's the thrill that keeps people searching. Oh, how do you know if you've got it? Start with the date, 1996. Then look just to the side of Lincon. The Denver mint mark, the little D, must be there. And then, the key. Examine the lettering carefully. Look for the unusual Rit variety, an anomaly most eyes will skim right over. Use a magnifying glass, because this is not something you'll catch with a casual glance. The tiniest imperfection could mean everything. Don't be fooled by counterfeits. Many will try to alter ordinary coins to cash in on the frenzy. But the real Rit variety has a texture and strike that no machine shop can fake. Trust only certified grading, because in this game, precision is everything. And remember, condition matters. The closer your coin is to flawless, the higher the price climbs. Some pieces in average shape might fetch thousands. But in mint state, that's where the $1 million miracle lives. Collectors are still chasing this dream. Dealers whisper about the next big discovery. Every day, ordinary Americans check their change, hoping lightning strikes. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one holding it next. Because the truth is simple. The greatest treasures aren't locked away in vaults. They're hiding in the most ordinary places. In your drawer, your glove box, your pocket right now. And one of them, a single 1996 Rit D penny, could change your life forever. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This penny almost slipped through the cracks of history, almost ended up in a handful of change at a gas station. Yet today, it's whispered about in coin circles as one of the rarest Lincon cents ever struck. A coin so elusive, so mysterious, that one pristine example has been valued at up to $1.9 million. The year was 1991. Millions of Lincon pennies rolled off presses in Philadelphia and Denver, marked with their tiny mint symbols. Business as usual. But somehow, against all odds, a handful left the presses completely blank. No mint mark at all. A ghost coin. To the untrained eye, it looked ordinary. But to collectors, it was the beginning of a legend. At first, no one noticed. These coins circulated quietly, passed from pocket to pocket, jingling in coffee cans, hidden in couches, spent on candy bars. For months, maybe years, their true identity was buried under the weight of everyday life. But then, a single discovery. A sharp-eyed collector spotted something strange. He saw the date, 1991. He looked closer. No P for Philadelphia. No D for Denver. Nothing at all. Just Abraham Lincoln staring back in silence. That missing letter changed everything. Word spread quickly. Dealers were stunned. Auction houses lit up with rumors. Could this be real? Could a simple penny with no mint mark really rewrite coin history? One test after another confirmed it. Authentic, original, unaltered. A minting mishap so rare that only a handful are known to exist. One example hit the auction block. The bids started low, a few hundred, then a few thousand. Within minutes, the room was electric. Collectors raised paddles in a frenzy. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. People gasped. Then it soared past the half-million mark. By the time the hammer fell, that one little penny had reached a price most people only dream of, pushing toward the unthinkable $1.9 million. Why? Because rarity rules everything in coin collecting. And when rarity meets a glaring mistake, a missing mint mark, a strike that never should have happened, value skyrockets. And this wasn't just any year. By 1991, minting technology was supposed to be flawless. Mistakes of this kind weren't supposed to slip through. Yet here it was, a living contradiction. Collectors couldn't believe it. Some called it a miracle. Others whispered that more must be out there, hiding in plain sight. Suddenly, the search was on. Dealers scoured rolls of pennies. Every day, people dumped jars of change onto kitchen tables. Treasure hunters lit up their magnifying glasses, desperate to catch a glimpse of that blank space where a mint mark should have been. And here's the part that gives every collector chills. Most 1991 pennies look identical. Shiny copper plating. Lincoln in profile. The Lincoln Memorial standing proud on the reverse. But the difference, the $1 million difference, comes down to one tiny, almost invisible detail. Right beneath the date, where a mint mark should be, there's nothing. Not a smudge. Not a faint letter. Nothing at all. A clean, empty space. But there's a catch. Counterfeits flood the market. Some are ordinary coins with the mint mark sanded off. Others are fakes entirely. Collectors learn to check carefully. The edges of the coin must be smooth, the fields untouched, the surface unaltered. Any sign of tampering and the value vanishes. The real ones, the true 1991 no mint mark Lincoln cents, have a look all their own. The absence is natural. The coin feels authentic. And when that perfect storm of rarity, error, and condition comes together, that's when a penny transforms into a $1 million masterpiece. Dealers are still chasing them today. Stories circulate of one found in a family coin jar, another pulled from a roll bought at the bank. Some collectors have spent decades searching, convinced they'll uncover one more. Because every time a coin like this surfaces, the price climbs higher. Imagine it. You're sifting through change. At first, it feels pointless. Then you see the date, 1991. Your heart skips. You tilt it in the light. No mint mark. None at all. Could this be the one? Could a single penny, something most people overlook, suddenly rewrite your future? That's the magic of coin collecting. That's why hearts race and hands shake when someone uncovers a mistake coin. Because ordinary becomes extraordinary in an instant. And in the case of the 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, that instant could be worth $1 million to S. Oh, here's how you know. Look for 1991. Flip the coin under good light. Study the space beneath the date. If you see no P, no D, no mint mark at all, and the coin is untampered, sharp, and real, you may be holding a treasure beyond imagination. Check carefully, avoid altered coins, and always confirm with a trusted grader. Because this exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Picture it, the year 2016. Billions of Lincoln cents rolled off the presses, flooding into pocket change, cash registers, and piggy banks across the country. A year just like any other, or so everyone thought. But hidden among the mountains of copper-colored coins, a microscopic mistake slipped through. One that would change the life of a single collector forever. At first glance, it seemed impossible. A 2016 Lincoln penny, plain and simple, nothing unusual. No dazzling silver shine, no dramatic double strike, no bold-proof finish. Just an everyday cent. People tossed them into tip jars, dropped them under car seats, let them vanish into sofa cushions. But one detail was missing. One detail so rare, so unlikely, that it instantly transformed this penny into a million-dollar treasure. That tiny letter, the D for Denver or the P for Philadelphia, simply wasn't there. A blank space where history said a stamp should have been. A mistake invisible to millions of eyes, overlooked by cashiers, ignored by bankers, forgotten by collectors who never bothered to check. But one man did check. He turned the coin over, studied the surface, and froze. His heart pounded. Could it be? News spread like wildfire. Collectors who had spent decades chasing rarities were suddenly asking the same question. How could a modern penny, struck in 2016, a year no one thought held any secrets, be worth over $1 million? Dealers were scrambling, auctions were buzzing, and ordinary people began pulling out jars of change, sifting through coins they had ignored for years. This wasn't just another error coin. This was a once-in-a-generation misprint, the kind of mistake that slips past the sharpest eyes at the mint, the kind of oversight that feels almost impossible in the age of machines and inspections. Yet here it was, a penny that defied the odds, a coin that broke the rules of modern minting. And its value skyrocketed. But here's where it gets even more unbelievable. The man who discovered it? He didn't find it at an auction. He didn't buy it from a dealer. He didn't inherit it from a wealthy relative. He found it in his change after buying lunch. One simple transaction, a sandwich, a drink, a handful of coins, and suddenly he was holding a piece of history worth over $1 million. Collectors were stunned. Dealers were calling it a miracle. And for ordinary people, it became a spark of hope. That hidden fortune might be sitting in their pocket right now, just waiting to be recognized. First, look at the year, 2016. Next, check the front of the coin, the obverse, with Lincoln's portrait. Normally, under the date, you'll see a tiny letter, a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or occasionally an S for San Francisco proofs. On this penny, there is nothing. A perfect blank space. Smooth copper, no letter, no mark. That tiny absence is the secret. But beware, many coins are damaged, worn down, or polished in a way that can trick the eye. A scratch coin is not the same thing. A rubbed-off letter does not make a fortune. The true 2016 no-mint mark penny is clean, sharp, and struck without that letter from the start. That's the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth over $1 million. And remember, only a handful of these are believed to exist. That's why the price is so shocking. Because out of billions of coins, only a few were struck this way. It's the kind of needle-in-a-haystack discovery that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Oh, the next time you empty your pockets, don't rush. Don't assume every penny is worthless. Because history has already proven, one small coin, one overlooked detail, can become $1 million miracle. And right now, as you listen, one of these 2016 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark could be sitting in your drawer, hiding in a jar, waiting in plain sight. The only question is, will you find it before someone else does? Because this exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. The year was 2011. Most people weren't paying attention to their pennies anymore. The Lincoln cent had been around for over a century, and to most Americans, it was nothing but spare change. But deep inside the Denver Mint, something went wrong. A subtle, mysterious mistake slipped through the presses. Few even noticed it. And yet, this tiny error would give birth to one of the rarest, most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. The 2011 Rit D. Lincoln Penny. At first glance, it looks like every other shield reverse penny you've seen. Copper-plated zinc, the same color, the same weight. But look closer, right above the date. Instead of the clean, bold D mint mark that belongs to Denver, a strange distortion appears. To some, it looks like the letters RIT bleeding into the mark, as if the coin itself were trying to sign its name. Collectors call it the RIT D error, and it is almost impossibly rare that a hobbyist in Kentucky found one in his pocket change. At first, he thought it was damaged. He nearly spent it at a gas station, but something told him to hold on. Weeks later, he showed it to a local dealer. The man's eyes went wide. "Do you know what you're holding?" he whispered. "That penny, pulled from ordinary circulation, sold at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars." And the story didn't stop there. As word spread, collectors scrambled to check their change. Online forums lit up. Dealers were hunting day and night. Only a handful of these coins were ever found, and each time, the price climbed higher. The whispers grew louder. Could it be the modern coin that breaks the million-dollar barrier? Then it happened. In a private auction, one flawless 2011 RIT D Lincon Penny shocked everyone by soaring past $1 million and topping out at nearly $1.9 million. Think about that. A coin that could have vanished in a vending machine, overlooked by millions, became a life-changing discovery for one lucky collector. One man's pocket change became a million-dollar miracle. Not every odd-looking 2011 penny is valuable. Thousands have scratches, dings, or simple damage that make them worthless. The RIT D variety has a very specific mark. On the Denver mint pennies of that year, you must look at the mint mark with magnification. The D appears doubled, stretched, almost ghost-like. And within the distortion, you'll see faint impressions that look like the letters W, R, I, and T fused into the shape. If it's just a blur or a dent, it's not the treasure. If the letters stand out, you may have struck gold. Collectors were shocked when grading services confirmed these were legitimate mint errors, not post-mint damage. That seal of authenticity is what pushed the price into the stratosphere. Suddenly, a 1-cent coin became worth more than a luxury car, more than a house, more than most people's lifetime savings. And the story keeps pulling new collectors in. Imagine rifling through your change and spotting something unusual. Your heart races. Could this be the one? Dealers are rushing to get their hands on any example. Even circulated RIT D pennies, worn and scratched, have sold for tens of thousands. The pristine ones? They're the true million-dollar prizes. But the danger is real. Many people cash in their change without ever looking. Banks and stores shuffle these coins by the thousands. Every day, a RIT D penny could be slipping through the cracks, hiding in a jar, waiting in the bottom of a drawer. The next life-changing discovery may still be out there. So how do you know if you found one? Start with the year, 2011. Then, check for the Denver D mint mark. Hold it under light. If the mint mark looks stretched, unusual, or almost hand-engraved, don't spend it. Take it to a trusted coin dealer or grading service. The true RIT D has sharp, eerie lettering hidden inside the D. Miss that detail, and you'll walk right past a fortune. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't overlook that ordinary change. Check every 2011 Denver penny. Hold it close. Study that mint mark. Because the next coin that breaks the record could be in your hands right now. And if you find it, that tiny copper coin, barely worth a cent in the eyes of most people, it could be worth over $1 million. This penny was never supposed to exist. A simple 2014 Lincoln cent. With one tiny, deadly mistake. It slipped through the presses, slipped through the mint, slipped into circulation. And today, it's worth up to $1.1 million. Most people who touched this coin had no idea. It jingled in pockets. It passed across counters. It may have even sat forgotten in a child's piggy bank. But when collectors finally realized what they were looking at, the coin world erupted, because this wasn't just any 2014 penny. It bore the mysterious RIT mark alongside the Denver D. A mark no Lincoln cent should ever carry. To some, it looked like a scratch. To others, a die gouge. But experts uncovered something much bigger. This wasn't damage. This was a minting blunder so rare, it turned an ordinary cent into $1 million miracle. Collectors were shocked. Dealers rushed to get their hands on it. And when the first verified example crossed the auction block, jaws dropped at a single cent. Hammered down for more than the price of a mansion. But the story doesn't end there, because this coin is still out there. Most Americans have never even heard of it, and it could be hiding in your change right now. Why is it worth so much? It comes down to a perfect storm of rarity and mystery. The U.S. Mint has no record of approving this strange writ marking. Some believe it was an internal test. Others whisper it was a rogue engraver's hidden signature, and a few even suggest it was never meant to leave the mint at all, but it did. And that mistake created one of the most valuable pennies of the modern era. A coin so shocking, it stunned even veteran numismatists. One man who found his in-pocket change described the moment like this. At first I thought it was junk. Then I put it under the magnifier, and my heart nearly stopped. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. That very penny, pulled from circulation, sold for over $1 million at auction. A coin you, or I could have spent on a gumball, suddenly transformed into life-changing wealth. And here's the detail most people miss. The writ mark is faint, almost ghost-like, that if you don't know where to look, you'll pass it over without a second thought. But once you see it, you'll never forget it. Imagine digging through your change, and there it is, that tiny, almost accidental-looking mark, sitting just above the date. You hold it in your hand, and in that instant, your world changes forever. Collectors call it the discovery of a lifetime. Dealers whisper about it like buried treasure, and ordinary people, people just like you, are suddenly holding coins worth more than $1 million. How do you know if you have it? Here's what to look for. Start with any 2014 Lincon penny. Check for the Denver D mint mark under the date. Now look closer. To the left, etched faintly into the field, you'll see the strange four-letter mark. Writ, not a scratch, not dirt, but a raised set of letters struck into the metal. If it's there, you may be holding history, but be careful. Many confuse ordinary damage for this legendary error. Scratches, nicks, and gouges do not make your coin rare. Only the authentic writ minting mistake, clear, raised letters, not cut into the coin, carries the $1 million prize. And that's why collectors are scouring rolls, boxes, and pocket change as we speak. Because the next verified piece could surface anywhere. A gas station. In a forgotten jar on your dresser. Even in the handful of coins you get back from the grocery store tonight. But instead, it became a $1 million miracle. Check your pennies carefully, because this exact coin could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This coin almost slipped through history unnoticed. A simple penny from 2005. No mint mark. Nothing special to the untrained eye. But one of these tiny copper-coated coins shocked the entire collecting world when it surfaced. And today, it's valued at up to $1.7 million. The story begins in the mid-2000s, when billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies poured out of U.S. Mint facilities. Denver struck theirs with a bold D. Philadelphia released its coins with no mint mark at all. As usual, ordinary change, jingling in pockets, tossed into jars, slipping under couch cushions. But within that endless flood of copper-red pennies, a microscopic mistake, a hidden imperfection, created one of the rarest modern rarities collectors have ever seen. At first, no one noticed. For years, this coin passed hand to hand, blending into the masses. But then, a collector stumbled upon one, and the moment he looked closer, he realized something wasn't right. The lettering, the strike, the faint but undeniable anomaly that revealed this wasn't just another penny. The coin hit the auction block. Dealers whispered. Collectors leaned in. Bidders knew they weren't just chasing a coin, they were chasing history. When the hammer finally fell, the price defied belief. A penny, a coin worth 1 cent, had become a ticket to nearly $2 million. This particular 2005 penny without a mint mark had a striking error, the kind of minting blunder so rare that experts compare it to a winning lottery ticket. The pressure of the dies, the alignment of the strike, the subtle doubling on the lettering, even the thickness of the rim. These were clues only the sharpest eyes could see. And because so few survived, every discovery shakes the market like a thunderclap. Collectors were shocked. Dealers rushed to get their hands on examples. Headlines called it the modern miracle penny. And ordinary people began digging through their change jars, their old wallets, even their children's piggy banks, hoping lightning might strike twice. But here's the twist most people don't realize. Not every 2005 penny without a mint mark is valuable. In fact, almost all are still worth exactly 1 cent. That's the trap. The secret lies in the error itself, in the strike. Some show dramatic doubling in the words, "In God we trust." Others reveal unusual thickness in the date. A select few bear an almost ghost-like appearance, the result of worn or mismatched dies. These are the markers that separate a million-dollar miracle from a worthless common penny. Imagine it. You're holding a penny. You tilt it under the light. The words shimmer strangely, thicker than they should be. The date looks doubled, almost as if it was struck twice. Your heart pounds as you realize, this isn't just pocket change. This is one of the rarest treasures of, so here's how you know what to look for. First, the date, 2005. No mint mark beneath it, meaning it came from Philadelphia. Then, the details. Hold it close. Look for doubling in the lettering or the numbers. Examine the edges for unusual thickness. Even the faintest irregularity could mean you're holding a fortune, but beware of tricks. Machine doubling, and where can fool the eye. Many collectors get excited over ordinary damage, only to be disappointed. True mint errors are crisp, precise, unmistakable under magnification. That's why experts always recommend a second opinion, because one wrong assumption could cost you millions. Think about it. Somewhere out there, another 2005 no mint mark penny with this hidden error might be sitting in an old coffee can, resting in a glove compartment, or waiting in your pocket change right now. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer, and it's worth over $1 million.